She had come home 3 days early from her business conference in Seattle. The Tech Investment Summit had wrapped up ahead of schedule, and she was excited to surprise Gregory. They hadn't been connecting much lately. He seemed distant, always on his phone working late. She thought maybe surprising him would help them reconnect, remind them of the early days when they couldn't get enough of each other. But now she stood frozen in the doorway of their master bedroom, her overnight bag slipping from her fingers and hitting the hardwood floor with a heavy thud. Gregory wasn't alone. There was a woman in their bed. In the bed Simone had carefully selected, with the expensive sheets she had bought, in the house she had purchased with her own money 5 years ago. The woman had long brown hair sprawled across Simone's pillow. She wore a red lace bra that definitely didn't belong to Simone. And Gregory, her husband of 8 years, the man who had promised to love and cherish her, was kissing the woman's neck, his hand moving along her bare shoulder. Gregory. Simone's voice came out stronger than she felt. He jerked away from the woman so fast he nearly fell off the bed. His face went from flushed to pale in seconds. Simone. You're not supposed to be, I thought you were coming back Friday. The woman sat up slowly, pulling the sheet around herself. She didn't look scared or ashamed. She looked annoyed, like Simone was the one interrupting something important. Get out, Simone said quietly. Baby, listen, this isn't what it looks like, Gregory started, scrambling to put on his pants. I said get out. Simone's voice was louder now, shaking with rage and hurt. You need to calm down, Gregory said, and his tone shifted. The panic left his face, replaced by something cold and hard. You're being dramatic. Simone couldn't believe what she was hearing. Dramatic? I come home to find you in bed with another woman and I'm being dramatic? The woman spoke for the first time. Maybe if you satisfied your man, he wouldn't need to find it elsewhere. Her voice was sharp, cruel. She smiled like she'd won something. Simone took a step toward the bed, her hands balling into fists. She had never hit anyone in her life, but in that moment she wanted to. Don't, Gregory said, moving between them. And then he said the words that would change everything. Leave my house, Simone. Just leave. This marriage is over. I'm done pretending. Simone froze. Your house? Yes, my house. I'm tired of this, tired of you always working, always busy, always acting like you're better than everyone. Brittany here actually makes me feel like a man. So just go. Take your stuff and go. Simone looked at him, really looked at him. At the man she had loved, supported, built a life with. The man she had put on her bank accounts, her credit cards, her insurance policies because she wanted him to feel like an equal partner even though she made significantly more money. She had bought him the fancy car he drove. She had helped him get his job through her connections. She had paid for their lavish lifestyle, their vacations, this house. And he was telling her to leave his house. The woman, Brittany, was smirking now, snuggling back into the bed like she owned it. Something shifted inside Simone. The hurt began to crystallize into something else. Something sharp and clear. Okay, she said softly. Gregory blinked. What? I said okay. I'll leave. He looked surprised, like he'd expected her to beg or cry. Good. Take what you need. I'll have your other stuff sent wherever you end up. Simone turned and walked back down the stairs. She could hear them talking in low voices, then laughing. Actually laughing. She went to the home office, the one Gregory never used because he didn't understand her work, and pulled out the filing cabinet. She took her passport, her birth certificate, her social security card, and several folders of important documents. She grabbed her laptop from her bag. Then she walked through the house one more time. The house she had bought with cash from her tech company sale 7 years ago. The furniture she had carefully selected. The art she had invested in. The kitchen she'd had renovated last year. She looked at all of it and felt nothing. It was just stuff. She could buy new stuff. Her phone buzzed. Her assistant had texted, "Hope the conference was great. See you Monday. The Johnson deal closed. We made $3.2 million. Simone smiled for the first time since walking through that bedroom door. Gregory had no idea. He thought she was just some moderately successful businesswoman with a decent job. He didn't know about the software company she'd sold for $50 million when she was 30. He didn't know about her investment portfolio that had grown to over $450 million. He didn't know that almost everything he thought he owned actually belonged to her. She had kept her business life mostly separate from her personal life. She'd been taught early on that people treat you differently when they know you're wealthy. She'd wanted Gregory to love her for her, not for her money. So she lived modestly, or what she considered modest. Nice house, nice cars, comfortable life, but nothing that screamed extreme wealth. Now she realized that had been a mistake. Not because she should have flaunted her money, but because Gregory had convinced himself he was the provider, the successful one, the one in control. He was about to learn the truth. Simone walked out the front door without looking back. She got into her Mercedes, registered solely in her name, and drove away from the house in the suburbs, away from her marriage, away from the life she thought she had. She didn't cry. Not yet. Right now she had work to do. She pulled over at a stoplight and made 3 phone calls. First to her lawyer, Catherine, who she'd worked with on multiple business deals. I need you to file for divorce. Tomorrow if possible. I'm emailing you the details now. Second, to her accountant, Harold. Remove Gregory Sterling from all joint accounts immediately. Cancel any credit cards with his name on them. I want a full audit of every asset and every dollar spent in the last 6 months. Third, to her financial advisor, Patricia. Start moving assets into protected accounts. I want everything completely separate by end of week. All 3 of them asked if she was okay. She told them she would be. By the time she pulled up to the Four Seasons Hotel downtown, she had already transformed. She wasn't Gregory's wife anymore. She wasn't the woman who made herself smaller to make a man feel bigger. She was Simone Mitchell, self-made multimillionaire, tech investor, and a woman who had just been set free. She checked into the penthouse suite, ordered room service, and opened her laptop. She had a business empire to run and a life to reclaim. Gregory would figure out his mistake soon enough. Simone sat on the hotel balcony looking out at the city lights. Her room service order sat untouched on the table behind her. She should be hungry, but all she felt was numb. Her phone kept buzzing. Text messages from friends asking about the conference. Business emails. But nothing from Gregory. He probably thought she was at a girlfriend's house, crying and begging to come home in a few days. He didn't know her at all anymore. Maybe he never had. She thought back to how they met 8 years ago. She had been 30 years old, fresh off selling her software company for $50 million. She'd started that company in her tiny apartment at 25, working 20-hour days, teaching herself to code, maxing out credit cards, believing in herself when nobody else did. When the acquisition went through, Simone didn't tell many people. She'd grown up poor in Detroit, raised by a single mother who worked 3 jobs. She'd learned early that people treated you differently when they thought you had money. Some got jealous. Some got greedy. Some just saw dollar signs instead of a person. So she lived quietly. She invested most of the money, hired a financial advisor, and kept working. She started an investment firm focusing on early-stage tech companies. She was good at spotting potential, at seeing which ideas would change the world. By the time she met Gregory, her $50 million had grown to nearly $200 million. But nobody looking at her would know it. She drove a nice but not flashy car. She lived in a decent apartment. She wore professional clothes but nothing obviously expensive. She'd met Gregory at a tech conference in San Francisco. She was there as an investor looking at potential opportunities. He was there representing his marketing firm trying to land tech clients. He'd approached her during a networking session. Tall, handsome, confident. He had warm brown eyes and a smile that made her feel like she was the only person in the room. "You look like someone who's actually accomplished something real," he'd said, handing her a glass of champagne. "Everyone else here is just pretending." They talked for hours. About their childhoods, his in the suburbs of Chicago, hers in Detroit. About their ambitions. About what they wanted from life. He told her about his dreams of running his own marketing company someday. She told him she worked in tech investments, but kept the details vague. He didn't ask too many questions about her work. She liked that. Most men either felt threatened by successful women or tried to get close to them for the wrong reasons. Gregory seemed genuinely interested in her as a person. They dated long distance for 6 months. Him in Chicago, her in New York. He'd fly out to see her on weekends. He'd bring her flowers, take her to nice restaurants, make her laugh. He never asked her to pay for anything, always insisted on taking care of the bills. She appreciated his pride, his desire to be a gentleman. When she told him she was thinking of relocating her business to Chicago to be closer to him, he'd been thrilled. "I can't believe you do that for me," he'd said, holding her close. Looking back now, Simone wondered if she'd missed warning signs. Had Gregory loved her, or had he loved the idea of her? A successful woman who made him look good? They got married after 2 years of dating. Small ceremony, just close friends and family. Simone's mother had pulled her aside the morning of the wedding. "Baby, are you sure about this?" her mother had asked, adjusting Simone's veil. "You've only known him 2 years. You're financially stable. You don't need a man to complete you." "I know, Mom. But I love him. And he loves me." I don't want to be alone forever just because I'm successful. Her mother had hugged her tight. Just promise me you'll protect yourself. Keep your money separate. I'm not saying he's a bad man, but money changes people. You worked too hard to lose it all. Simone had nodded, but she hadn't really listened. She wanted to believe in her marriage, in their partnership. So while she kept most of her assets in her name, she added Gregory to some accounts. She bought the house and put both their names on the deed. She leased him a luxury car through her company. She helped him land a better job through her connections. She told herself she was being a good wife, a supportive partner. Now she realized she'd been making herself smaller, dimming her light, hiding her success so he could feel like the man of the house. And what had it gotten her? A cheating husband who didn't even know who she really was. Simone's phone buzzed again. This time it was Catherine, her lawyer. "I've filed the preliminary paperwork," Catherine said when Simone answered. "Emergency motion to freeze joint assets pending divorce proceedings. I also sent a formal notice to Gregory that he needs to vacate the premises within 30 days. The house is in my name alone?" Simone asked, even though she knew the answer. "Checked and double-checked. You purchased it before the marriage with your own funds. It's solely yours. The car registered to him is a company lease under your business. His name is on 2 credit cards and 1 checking account, all of which have now been frozen. I'm going through everything with Harold to make sure we have a complete picture. What about his claim to any of my business assets?" Catherine laughed. "He has no claim. Your investment firm was established before the marriage, all profits have been reinvested in your name, and you have ironclad documentation. Even in Illinois, which is not a community property state, he'd have to prove he contributed to the growth of the business. From what you've told me, he didn't even know the extent of your business." Simone felt relief wash over her. "Good. Simone, I have to ask, are you okay? I know this must be devastating." "I'm angry," Simone admitted, "but I'm also clear-headed. I built my life before him and I'll build it after him. He just doesn't know it yet. That's what I like to hear. I'll have the divorce papers served to him by Friday. Be prepared, he's going to call you when he realizes what's happening. He can call all he wants." "I'm not answering." After she hung up, Simone finally opened her laptop and started working. She reviewed investment portfolios, read reports on potential acquisition targets, answered emails from her business partners. Work had always been her sanctuary, the place where she felt most confident and in control. By midnight, she'd approved 3 new investments and scheduled 5 meetings for the following week. She'd also drafted an email to her team letting them know she was going through a divorce but it wouldn't affect business operations. Before she went to bed, she did one more thing. She changed all her passwords. Bank accounts, credit cards, social media, email, everything. She enabled 2-factor authentication on everything she owned. Then she blocked Gregory's number, blocked him on social media, and deleted every photo of him from her phone. If he wanted to treat her like she was nobody, like she was disposable, then that's exactly what she'd be to him now. Nobody. She fell asleep that night not crying but planning. Planning her next moves, her next investments, her next chapter. The chapter where she remembered who she was before she tried to make herself smaller for a man who never deserved her in the first place. Simone woke up at 5 in the morning, same as always. Her body didn't care that her life had fallen apart yesterday. It still craved routine, still demanded structure. She put on her running clothes and went down to the hotel gym. It was empty except for one older gentleman on a treadmill. She chose a machine far from him and started running. With each step she felt stronger. Her legs burned, her lungs worked hard, but her mind began to clear. She ran for an hour, pushing herself harder than usual, sweating out the anger and hurt and confusion. By the time she finished and returned to her room, she felt almost human again. She showered, dressed in a sharp business suit, and ordered breakfast. Today was Thursday. She had meetings scheduled, business to conduct, a life to live. She wouldn't hide. She wouldn't fall apart. She would do exactly what she'd always done: work hard, stay focused, and build her empire. Her phone rang at 8. It was Harold, her accountant. "Good morning, Simone. I've completed the preliminary audit you requested. Do you have time to go over the findings?" "Absolutely. First, the good news. The majority of your assets were never in joint accounts. Your investment firm, your primary bank accounts, your retirement funds, your stock portfolio, all solely in your name. Total value approximately $448 million. Simone had known this, but hearing it confirmed made her feel secure. She'd protected herself without even realizing it. "However," Harold continued, I did find some concerning spending on the joint credit card and checking account over the past 6 months. How concerning? Approximately $87,000 in charges that don't match your typical spending patterns. High-end restaurants, jewelry stores, weekend trips to luxury hotels. All while you were traveling for business. Simone closed her eyes. He'd been spending her money on Brittany. On dates, gifts, romantic getaways. Using her credit card to wine and dine his mistress. Can we recover any of it? She asked. In the divorce, possibly. But honestly, Simone, it's not worth the fight. You'll spend more on legal fees than you'd recover. Better to just cut your losses and move forward. You're right. What else? The house is clear, solely your name, purchased before marriage with documented funds. Current value approximately $2.1 million. The car he drives is a corporate lease under your business, so that's easily terminated. I'm also reviewing all of your business expenses to ensure he didn't charge anything inappropriate through company accounts. Thank you, Harold. Send me the full report. After she hung up, Simone sat on the bed and let herself feel it. The betrayal wasn't just that he'd cheated. It was that he'd used her money to do it. Money she'd worked for, sweated for, sacrificed for. Money she'd earned through long nights and risky investments and brilliant decisions. He'd taken her generosity and twisted it into something ugly. Her phone buzzed with a text from Patricia, her financial advisor. Asset transfer complete. All joint accounts closed. Sole accounts reinforced. You're fully protected now. Coffee next week? Simone texted back a thank you and a yes to coffee. These women, Catherine, Harold, Patricia, they were her real support system. Not the husband who'd vowed to honor her. Not the friends she'd neglected while trying to save her marriage. But the professionals who valued her intelligence and treated her with respect. At 10, she had a video conference with potential investors in a new startup. She'd been tracking the company for months. A woman-led artificial intelligence firm that could revolutionize healthcare diagnostics. The founders were brilliant, the technology was solid, but they needed capital to scale. Simone joined the call with her camera on, makeup perfect, smile professional. Nobody watching would know her personal life was in shambles. They saw what she wanted them to see, a successful investor, confident and capable. The meeting went well. By the end, she'd committed $5 million to their series of funding round. The founders were thrilled, grateful, promising this investment would change everything. After the call, Simone felt something she hadn't felt since yesterday afternoon. Purpose. She was good at this. Really good. She could spot potential, nurture growth, create value. Her talent didn't depend on Gregory or anyone else. It was hers alone. She spent the rest of the day in meetings. Lunch with a venture capital partner discussing a potential new fund. Afternoon calls with 3 different companies she'd invested in, reviewing their quarterly performances. Evening review of market analyses and financial reports. By the time she closed her laptop at 7, she'd had a productive, successful day. She'd made smart decisions, contributed to businesses that mattered, and moved her own empire forward. Gregory hadn't crossed her mind once during work hours. But now, in the quiet of her hotel suite, the thoughts crept back in. Where was he right now? Had he noticed anything wrong yet? Was Brittany still there, thinking she'd won some prize? Simone ordered dinner from room service and turned on the television. She needed distraction, needed to not think about the house she'd left behind or the man who'd dismissed her from it. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She ignored it. It rang again. Different unknown number. She turned it off. She knew what was coming. Soon Gregory would realize something was wrong. The credit cards would decline. The car lease would terminate. The lawyers would show up. And then he'd understand what he'd done. But Simone wouldn't be there to see his reaction. She wouldn't answer his calls or respond to his messages. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her hurt or the opportunity to manipulate her back. She'd spent 8 years making herself smaller for him. 8 years putting his comfort ahead of her own needs. 8 years pretending she wasn't as successful as she was because it made him feel better about himself. Those days were over. She pulled out her journal, something she hadn't written in for years, too busy trying to be the perfect wife, and began to write. About her feelings, her plans, her future. About the woman she used to be before she dimmed her light. About the woman she was going to become now that she remembered who she was. She wrote until her hand cramped and her eyes grew heavy. Then she climbed into the enormous hotel bed, turned off the lights and fell asleep without crying. Tomorrow she would start building her new life. Tonight she just needed to rest. Gregory woke up Friday morning feeling good. Better than good. He felt free. Simone had actually left. He'd expected her to come crawling back by now, begging him to talk, to work things out. But she hadn't called, hadn't texted, hadn't shown up. Maybe she was finally getting the message that he was done with the marriage. Brittany stirred beside him. She was younger than Simone by almost 10 years, more fun, more exciting. She didn't talk about work all the time or spend her evenings on her laptop. She made him feel alive. "Morning, baby," she murmured, running her hand across his chest. "Can't believe we have this whole place to ourselves now." Gregory smiled. "Told you it would work out." He got up and headed to the shower, already planning his day. He'd go to work, tell his boss he needed a few personal days, maybe take Brittany somewhere nice for the weekend. Atlantic City maybe. Show her a good time. After his shower, he dressed in one of his expensive suits, Italian, custom-made, the kind Simone always insisted he needed for client meetings. He grabbed his wallet and keys and kissed Brittany goodbye. "I'll call you later. Maybe we can go out for dinner tonight, somewhere fancy." "Sounds perfect," she said, already scrolling through her phone. Gregory walked out to the driveway where his Mercedes SUV sat. Black, fully loaded, the kind of car that announced success. He pressed the key fob, but nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. Frowning, he walked closer and noticed something on the windshield. A bright yellow sticker. Notice of repossession. This vehicle is subject to immediate repossession due to termination of lease agreement. Contact Premier Auto Leasing immediately. Gregory's stomach dropped. What? There must be some mistake. He fumbled with his phone and called the leasing company. Premier Auto Leasing, this is Janet. How can I help you? Yes, this is Gregory Sterling. There's a repossession notice on my vehicle, but I think there's been an error. My payments are current. He heard typing. One moment, Mr. Sterling. Yes, I see your account. The lease was terminated yesterday by the account holder, Mitchell Investments LLC. The vehicle is being collected today at 4 p.m. You're welcome to remove any personal belongings before then. Wait, Mitchell Investments? That's my wife's company. She can't just terminate my car lease. According to our records, sir, she's the sole account holder. The lease is under her business. She has every right to terminate it. Gregory hung up, his hands shaking. Okay, this was just Simone being petty. She was mad, trying to punish him. He'd call her, explain that she was overreacting, get her to calm down. He dialed her number. It went straight to voicemail. He tried again. Same thing. He texted her, "Simone, we need to talk. You can't just take my car. Call me." No response. Fine. He'd go to work, use the day to think, figure out how to handle this. He called an Uber and waited, watching as his Mercedes, his car, the car he'd driven for 3 years, sat there with that humiliating yellow sticker on the windshield. When he got to his office, his assistant looked nervous. "Mr. Sterling, there's a woman here to see you. She says it's urgent. She's from a law firm." Gregory's blood ran cold. "Send her in." A woman in a crisp suit walked into his office carrying a manila envelope. "Gregory Sterling? You've been served." She handed him the envelope and walked out before he could respond. With trembling hands, Gregory opened it. Divorce papers. Filed by Simone Mitchell, represented by Catherine Foster of Foster and Associates. Request for immediate dissolution of marriage, division of assets, and, his eyes widened, eviction from the marital home. Eviction? From his own house? He kept reading. According to the documents, the house at 2847 Riverside Drive was purchased by Simone Mitchell before their marriage with solely her funds. Title was solely in her name. He had no legal claim to the property and was required to vacate within 30 days. Gregory's hands were shaking so badly he almost dropped the papers. This couldn't be right. They'd bought that house together. They'd looked at properties together, discussed neighborhoods, picked out furniture. It was their home. He grabbed his phone and called his bank to check their joint account, the one they used for household expenses. "The account you're referring to has been closed," the automated system informed him. He tried one of their credit cards. "This card has been canceled," the voice said. "Another credit card. This account is no longer active." Panic set in. Gregory tried logging into their online banking. Username and password not recognized. He called the bank, was put on hold, transferred 3 times, until finally someone explained that Simone Mitchell had closed all joint accounts and removed his access to any accounts bearing her name. "But those are our accounts," Gregory shouted into the phone. "She can't just close our accounts." "Sir, according to our records, Ms. Mitchell was the primary account holder. She has every legal right to close accounts in her name." Gregory hung up and stared at his desk. His heart was pounding. His mouth felt dry. What was happening? How had Simone done all this in less than 2 days? His office phone rang. It was his boss, Richard. "Gregory, can you come to my office, please?" Gregory walked down the hall on shaky legs. Richard was sitting behind his desk looking uncomfortable. "Sit down, Gregory. We need to talk. If this is about the personal day I need." "It's not about that. I received a call this morning from Catherine Foster. She's a lawyer representing Simone Mitchell. Do you know her?" Gregory nodded slowly. "She's my wife. Soon-to-be ex-wife, apparently." Richard sighed. "Gregory, I don't know how to say this delicately, so I'll just say it. The only reason you have this position is because of Simone's connections. She invested in our parent company 3 years ago and recommended you for this role. Now her lawyer is informing us that she's divesting from the company and requesting that we reevaluate your position here." The room spun. "You're firing me?" "Not immediately. But the board is meeting next week, and honestly, without Simone's backing, I don't know if I can protect your position. Your performance has been adequate, but the reality is, your salary is higher than we'd normally pay for your level, and that was only because of her influence." Gregory walked back to his office in a daze. This couldn't be happening. His car, his bank accounts, his house, now his job. Everything was falling apart. He tried calling Simone again. Voicemail. He sent another text. "Please, we need to talk. I know you're angry, but this is going too far." Nothing. He called his mother. "Mom, I need to stay with you for a while. Simone and I are getting divorced." "Oh honey, I'm so sorry. Of course you can stay here. What happened?" Gregory couldn't tell her the truth, that he'd cheated, that Simone had kicked him out, that everything he thought he owned was actually hers. "It's complicated. I'll explain when I get there." His phone buzzed. A text from Brittany. "Hey babe, I tried to use your credit card for groceries and it got declined. Everything okay?" Gregory closed his eyes. He'd given Brittany one of the credit cards, technically Simone's credit card, to use whenever she needed anything. He'd like being able to take care of her, to provide for her. It made him feel important. Now that card was worthless. He texted back, "There's been a mix-up with the accounts. I'll get you cash later." But he didn't have cash. His last paycheck had gone into the joint account that Simone had closed. He had maybe $300 in his personal wallet. Gregory spent the rest of the day in his office, door closed, trying to figure out what to do. He called 3 lawyers, but when they heard he was going against Simone Mitchell, 2 of them declined to take his case. The third one agreed to a consultation but wanted a $10,000 retainer. Money Gregory didn't have. By the time he left work that evening, taking another Uber because his car was gone, Gregory finally understood what had happened. Simone wasn't just leaving him. She was erasing him. Removing him from every part of the life he thought they'd built together. And the worst part? He was realizing that none of it had ever been his life at all. It had always been hers. He'd just been living in it. The weekend was the longest of Gregory's life. He packed what he could fit into 2 suitcases and moved into his mother's spare bedroom in her small house in the suburbs. She'd asked questions, but Gregory couldn't bring himself to tell her the whole truth. He said it was a trial separation, that he and Simone were having problems, that they needed space. His mother accepted this with worried eyes. "Are you sure there's nothing you can do to fix it?" "Marriage is work, honey. Sometimes you have to fight for it." Gregory almost laughed. Fight for it? Simone had already won the war before he knew it had started. Brittany had stopped answering his calls after Friday night. He'd taken her to dinner with the cash in his wallet, but when she'd wanted to go shopping afterward and he'd said he didn't have the money, she'd gotten quiet. By Saturday, she was texting him that she needed space to think. Now it was Monday morning, and Gregory sat in a tiny office across from the only lawyer who'd agreed to take his case. James Patterson looked to be in his 60s, with tired eyes and a cluttered desk. "So let me make sure I understand this correctly," Patterson said, reviewing the documents Gregory had brought. "You've been married to Simone Mitchell for 8 years. When you filed for divorce, you thought you'd get half the assets. But now you're discovering that everything is in her name." "Everything," Gregory confirmed miserably. "The house, the cars, the bank accounts. Even my job was because of her connections." Patterson pulled up something on his computer and whistled low. "Gregory, do you know who your wife is? Like really know?" "She works in tech investments. She does pretty well." "Pretty well?" Patterson turned his computer screen around. It showed a business article from 2 years ago. The headline read, "Top 50 Under 50, Female Investors Changing the Game." There was Simone's photo. And next to it, a caption, Simone Mitchell, founder of Mitchell Investments, with a portfolio valued at over $400 million. Gregory stared at the screen. $400 million? That couldn't be right. This must be a mistake. Simone never told me she had that kind of money. Did you ever ask? Gregory thought back. Had he? In their early days he'd known she worked in tech. She'd mentioned investments, mentioned doing well. But he'd never pressed for details. He'd assumed she made good money, maybe a few $100,000 a year, but nothing like this. I don't understand, Gregory said slowly. We lived in a nice house, but it wasn't a mansion. She drove a Mercedes, but it was a few years old. We took nice vacations, but nothing crazy. If she had $400 million, why weren't we living like millionaires? Patterson leaned back in his chair. Maybe because she didn't want people treating her differently. Maybe because she wanted to know people loved her for her, not for her money. Did you ever think of that? The words hit Gregory like a punch. Is that what Simone had thought? That he'd only want her for her money? Is that why she'd kept it a secret? But no, she was the one who'd left things out. She was the one who'd been dishonest. If she'd told him the truth from the beginning, things would have been different. So what are my options? Gregory asked. Illinois isn't a community property state, right? So I'm entitled to something? Patterson sighed. In Illinois, property acquired during the marriage can be considered marital property. But here's the problem. This house was purchased before your marriage with funds she earned before your marriage. Her investment business was established before your marriage. Her personal accounts were established before your marriage. You'd have to prove that you contributed to the growth of her wealth during the marriage. I supported her, Gregory argued. I was there for her. I took care of the house, I was her partner. Did you? Because from these financial records, it looks like she paid for the house, the utilities, the maintenance. She paid for vacations. She even paid for your car and helped you get your job. What exactly did you contribute financially? Gregory's face burned. I had my salary. I paid for dinner, sometimes for groceries. With a credit card in her name that she paid off every month, Patterson said gently. Gregory, I'm not trying to be cruel here. But the reality is you don't have a case. She kept detailed financial records. Every asset is clearly documented as being purchased with her funds. You don't have grounds to claim half of anything. So I get nothing? After 8 years of marriage? You might be able to argue for some temporary maintenance while you get back on your feet, but even that's a stretch. You have a job, you're capable of earning income. No judge is going to award you alimony when you were the one who broke the marriage vows. Gregory froze. What do you mean? Patterson looked at him over his glasses. Ms. Mitchell's lawyer sent over evidence this morning. Credit card statements showing charges to hotels, restaurants, jewelry stores, all while Ms. Mitchell was traveling for business. They have security footage from your house showing another woman coming and going multiple times. They have phone records. Gregory, they have everything. You were the one who committed adultery and they can prove it. The room felt too small, too hot. Gregory loosened his tie, struggling to breathe. But that doesn't mean she gets to keep everything. Actually, in this case, it kind of does. She came into the marriage with significant assets. She kept those assets separate and documented. You contributed virtually nothing financially. And you broke your marriage vows. There's no scenario where a judge awards you half her fortune. Gregory stood up abruptly. This can't be right. There has to be something I can do. You could contest the divorce, drag it out, spend money on lawyers. But you'll lose and you'll be broke at the end of it. My advice? Sign the papers. Accept whatever settlement she offers, if any. And move on with your life. Gregory walked out of the lawyer's office in a daze. The morning sun felt too bright, the traffic too loud. Everything felt wrong. He'd thought he was the one ending the marriage. He thought he was the one in control. He told Simone to leave his house. But it had never been his house. None of it had ever been his. He'd been living in Simone's world, on Simone's money, through Simone's generosity. And he'd been too proud and too stupid to see it. His phone buzzed. A text from Brittany. I think we should stop seeing each other. This is too complicated. Sorry. Gregory almost threw his phone. Of course Brittany was leaving. She thought he was successful, wealthy, a catch. Now she knew the truth. He was a middle-aged man with a decent but not impressive job, no assets and no prospects. Another text came through. This one from the leasing company. Final notice. Vehicle must be returned by 5 p.m. today or we will report it stolen. Gregory looked at his watch. It was 11 in the morning. He'd have to take the train to get the Mercedes from his mother's house, drive it back to the dealership and then figure out how to get home. Without a car, without money, without anything. He sat on a bench outside the lawyer's office and put his head in his hands. How had everything fallen apart so quickly? The answer came to him slowly, painfully. It hadn't fallen apart quickly. It had been built on sand from the beginning. He'd just been too blind to see it. Simone had been the foundation of everything. And when he pushed her away, when he told her to leave his house, he destroyed the only thing holding up his entire life. He pulled out his phone one more time and typed a message to Simone. "I'm sorry. Can we please just talk?" He hit send and waited. Minutes passed. Then an hour. No response. Finally, a message came through. But it wasn't from Simone. It was from her lawyer, Catherine. "Mr. Sterling, Ms. Mitchell has no wish to communicate with you. Please direct all future communication through this office. We expect your signature on the divorce papers by end of week. A settlement offer will be forthcoming." Gregory read the message 3 times. Ms. Mitchell. Not Simone, not his wife. Ms. Mitchell. Like he was just some stranger. Maybe that's all he'd ever been to her. A stranger who'd wandered into her life, taken what he could, and then thrown it away. He stood up and started walking, not sure where he was going, just knowing he couldn't sit still anymore. Everything he'd thought he knew about his life had been a lie. The successful businessman image, the beautiful house, the luxury car, the respect at work. None of it was real. It was all borrowed, all Simone's, all gone now. And the worst part? He'd thrown it away himself. For what? For Brittany, who was already gone. For pride? For the ego boost of having a younger woman want him? He traded everything real for something false, and now he had nothing at all. 2 weeks later, Gregory sat in his mother's kitchen eating cereal at 3 in the afternoon. He hadn't bothered to get dressed. What was the point? He'd been placed on indefinite administrative leave from work. Corporate speak for, "You're fired, but we're doing it slowly." Without Simone's investment in the company, the board had decided his position was redundant. They'd offered him a severance package, 3 months' salary, which he'd taken because he had no other choice. He'd signed the divorce papers last week. Catherine had sent over a settlement offer that made Gregory want to laugh, except nothing was funny anymore. Simone would keep all assets in her name, which was everything. Gregory would keep his personal belongings, his clothes, his watch collection. She would pay him $25,000 as a one-time settlement payment to help him transition. $25,000. After 8 years of marriage to a woman worth $450 million. Patterson had advised him to take it. "It's more than you're entitled to legally. She's being generous." Generous? Right. His phone buzzed. It was Derek, his former college roommate. They'd been best friends once, before Gregory got busy with work and marriage and life. Derek had texted a few times since the divorce news broke, asking if Gregory was okay, offering to meet up. Gregory had ignored him until now. But sitting in his mother's house, unemployed and alone, he needed someone to talk to. "Yeah, let's meet," he texted back. They met at a sports bar near Derek's office. Derek was still the same. Friendly face, easygoing manner, successful but not showy. He worked as an engineer at a manufacturing company and seemed content with his life. "Man, it's good to see you," Derek said, pulling Gregory into a hug. "I've been worried." They ordered beers and wings and didn't talk about anything serious at first. They discussed sports, movies, memories from college. But eventually, Derek asked the question Gregory had been avoiding. "So what happened with you and Simone? I always thought you guys were solid." Gregory took a long drink of his beer. "Where to even start? I messed up," he finally said. "I cheated on her. She caught me, kicked me out, and filed for divorce." Derek winced. "Damn man. That's rough. But people work through that sometimes. Did you try counseling?" "She wouldn't even talk to me. Just served me with papers and cut me out of everything." Gregory paused. "Did you know Simone was rich? Like really rich?" Derek looked confused. "I mean, I knew she did well. She always seemed successful." "Why?" "She's worth over $400 million, Derek. $400 million. And I never knew. She never told me." Derek whistled low. "Holy shit. How did you not know?" "I don't know. She lived normal. Worked a lot, sure, but I thought she was just dedicated to her job. I didn't know she owned a huge investment firm. I didn't know she was some tech millionaire. And now I'm realizing everything I thought was mine was actually hers. The house, my car, even my job, she helped me get it through her connections. I was living in her world and I didn't even know it." Derek was quiet for a moment. "Why do you think she didn't tell you?" "I don't know. Maybe she didn't trust me. Maybe she thought I'd marry her for her money." "Would you have?" Gregory looked up sharply. What kind of question is that? An honest one. If you'd met Simone and known she was worth 400 million, would you have dated her? Of course I would have. She's smart and beautiful and rich, Derek interrupted. Come on, man. Be real with yourself. Would you have worked as hard to impress her? Would you have taken her to nice restaurants you could barely afford? Would you have tried so hard to be the man if you'd known she was already the woman with all the power? Gregory didn't answer. He couldn't. Because he didn't know. Maybe Simone had been right to hide it from him. Maybe she'd seen something in him that he hadn't wanted to see in himself. I loved her, Gregory said quietly. I really did. At least I thought I did. So why'd you cheat? I don't know. She was always working, always busy. Brittany paid attention to me. Made me feel important. Derek shook his head. You realize how that sounds, right? Simone was working to build her empire, to be successful, and you cheated because another woman paid attention to your ego? It wasn't just ego. I felt like I didn't matter to her anymore. Like she didn't need me. Maybe she didn't need you. Maybe she wanted you. There's a difference. The words stung because they were true. Simone hadn't needed Gregory financially. She hadn't needed him for status or security. If she'd been with him, it was because she wanted to be. Because she'd chosen him. And he'd thrown that away. I tried to call her, Gregory admitted. After everything. I wanted to apologize, to explain. But she won't answer. Her lawyer said all communication has to go through her office. Can you blame her? You cheated, you kicked her out of what you thought was your house, and then it all blew up in your face. From her perspective, you got exactly what you deserved. So what am I supposed to do now? I lost my job, my house, my wife. I'm living with my mother at 40 years old. I have 3 months of severance and $25,000 to my name. I'm starting over with nothing. Derek looked at him seriously. You're not starting with nothing. You have your education, your experience, your health. Yeah, you messed up bad. Really bad. But you're not dead. You can rebuild. It feels impossible. Because you've been living beyond your means for years without realizing it. Now you're back to reality, which is that you're a decent marketing consultant who makes decent money. Not rich, not poor. Just normal. You've got to accept that and move forward. Gregory finished his beer. Derek was right, but the truth was hard to swallow. He'd spent years feeling successful, important, like he'd made it. Now he knew it had all been borrowed success. Borrowed money, borrowed status, borrowed confidence. What about Simone? Derek asked. How's she doing? I don't know. I blocked all her social media after the divorce. I couldn't stand seeing pictures of her looking happy without me. Derek pulled out his phone and scrolled for a minute. Then he turned it around to show Gregory. It was Simone's LinkedIn profile. Updated 3 days ago. The headline read, Mitchell Investments announces expansion into AI healthcare sector. Founder Simone Mitchell spearheads $50 million fund. In the photo, Simone looked radiant. Professional, confident, powerful. She was wearing a navy suit and standing in front of a screen showing graphs and projections. She looked like what she was, a self-made millionaire changing the world. She looked nothing like the woman Gregory had dismissed from his house. She's doing fine, Derek said gently. Better than fine. She's thriving. Gregory looked at the picture and felt something twist in his chest. Not quite regret, not quite longing. Something more complicated. He'd had the love of an incredible woman. A woman who'd built an empire, who'd chosen him despite having every option in the world, who tried to make him feel equal even when they weren't. And he treated her like she was lucky to have him. I really messed up, Gregory said again. Yeah, Derek agreed. You did. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing I can do. She won't talk to me. It's over. I don't mean with Simone. I mean with yourself. Are you going to sit in your mom's house feeling sorry for yourself? Or are you going to figure out who you really are and build something real? Gregory didn't have an answer. Not yet. But as he left the bar that evening and took the train back to his mother's house, he thought about Derek's question. Who was he without Simone? Without her money, her connections, her success propping him up? He honestly didn't know. And that scared him more than anything else. Simone stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows of her new penthouse apartment, looking out at the Chicago skyline. The apartment was stunning, modern, sleek, filled with natural light. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a chef's kitchen she'd never use, and a view that made her feel like she was on top of the world. She'd bought it 2 weeks ago, paying cash. The real estate agent had nearly fainted when Simone's bank transfer cleared within hours. This was her fresh start. Her real life, the one where she wasn't hiding who she was or what she'd accomplished. "This place is incredible," said Jennifer, her best friend from college who'd flown in for the weekend. Jennifer was a professor of literature at Northwestern and one of the few people who'd known Simone before she made her fortune. "I'm so proud of you." Simone smiled. "Thanks. It feels good to be in a space that's really mine, you know? The old house. Even though it was in my name, it still felt like ours. Like I was sharing it. This is just mine." "No shared spaces," Jennifer agreed, raising her glass of wine. "Here's to new beginnings and leaving lying men in the dust." They clinked glasses and Simone felt lighter than she had in months. The divorce was finalized. Gregory was completely out of her life. She'd reclaimed her space, her money, her power. Now it was time to reclaim herself. "So tell me about this foundation you're starting," Jennifer said, settling onto the white leather couch. Simone's eyes lit up. This was the project she was most excited about. "It's called Rise Up. We're going to provide funding and mentorship for women entrepreneurs, especially women of color who have trouble accessing traditional venture capital. Grants ranging from $10,000 to $250,000, plus business coaching, networking opportunities, and ongoing support." "How much are you putting into it?" $25 million to start. If it works the way I hope, I'll add more." Jennifer shook her head in amazement. "You're incredible. Most people would spend their divorce recovery shopping or drinking or hiding. You're out here changing lives." "I hid long enough," Simone said. 8 years of playing small, of pretending I wasn't as successful as I was. I'm done with that. I built this empire and I'm going to use it to help other women build theirs." Her phone buzzed. A text from Patricia, her financial advisor. "Q2 portfolio review tomorrow at 10? Also that AI healthcare investment is already showing promise. Founders want to meet." Simone texted back confirmation. Her business was growing faster than ever. Freed from the emotional drain of her failing marriage, she had more energy, more focus, more drive. She'd closed 4 major deals in the past 2 months. Her investment portfolio had grown by another $30 million. She was on fire. "Are you dating anyone?" Jennifer asked casually. "No," Simone said quickly. "And I'm not interested. I need time to just be me for a while." "Fair enough. But when you're ready, there's a whole world of men out there who would be lucky to have you. Men who know what I'm worth," Simone said. "No more secrets. No more playing small. Anyone I date in the future will know exactly who I am from day one. If they can't handle a successful woman, they can keep walking." "Amen to that." They spent the rest of the evening talking, laughing, catching up on years of missed connection. Simone realized how much she'd neglected her friendships during her marriage. She'd been so focused on making Gregory comfortable, on being the perfect wife, that she'd let other important relationships fade. Not anymore. The next morning, Simone woke up early and went for a run along the lake. The sun was just coming up, painting the water gold and pink. She ran until her legs burned and her lungs ached, pushing herself harder and faster, feeling strong and alive. After her shower, she dressed in a tailored suit, no more dressing down to make anyone comfortable, and headed to her office. Mitchell Investments occupied the entire 23rd floor of a downtown high-rise. Sleek, modern, professional. Her name was on the door in silver letters. Her assistant, Monica, greeted her with coffee and a schedule. "You have the quarterly review at 10, lunch with the Johnson Tech founders at noon, and then the first round of interviews for the Rise Up Foundation coordinator at 2. "Perfect. Any calls I need to return?" 3 potential investors, 2 companies wanting to pitch to you, and... Monica hesitated. Gregory called the office line. "I told him you weren't available." Simone's jaw tightened. "If he calls again, tell him to contact my lawyer. He's not to be put through under any circumstances." "Understood." Simone spent the morning in back-to-back meetings. The quarterly review showed her portfolio had grown by 18%. Phenomenal numbers. The lunch with the Johnson Tech founders went well. They were brilliant, hungry, ready to change the world. She committed another $3 million to their Series B round. By the time she got to the interviews for the foundation coordinator, she was energized rather than tired. This was what she loved. Building things, creating opportunities, making things happen. The third candidate was exactly what she was looking for. Tasha Williams was 35, had run nonprofit programs for a decade, understood business and social impact, and had the kind of passion that couldn't be faked. I grew up in the South Side, Tasha said during her interview. Single mom, 5 kids. We had nothing. But my mom had this idea for a catering business. She could cook like nobody's business. She just needed capital to get started. Did she get it? Simone asked. Tasha shook her head. Every bank turned her down. No credit history, no collateral, no connections. She ended up working 2 jobs instead and her dream died. I watched that happen and I promised myself I'd spend my life making sure other women didn't have to give up their dreams because nobody would give them a chance. Simone hired her on the spot. Over the next few weeks, Simone threw herself into work and the foundation. She traveled to San Francisco for a tech conference, to New York for investor meetings, to Austin to speak on a panel about women in tech. Everywhere she went, people wanted to talk to her, learn from her, partner with her. She was no longer just Gregory's wife. She was Simone Mitchell, and that meant something. One evening, she came home to her penthouse after a particularly long day and found a package at her door. No return address. She brought it inside carefully, unsure what to expect. Inside was a framed photo, one she recognized. It was from their wedding day. Her and Gregory smiling at the camera, looking hopeful and young. On the back, Gregory had written, "I'm sorry for everything. I hope someday you can forgive me. You deserved so much better." Simone looked at the photo for a long moment. The woman in that picture looked happy but small somehow. Like she was trying to fit herself into someone else's idea of who she should be. She didn't look like that anymore. Simone put the photo in a drawer without responding. Gregory could apologize all he wanted. It didn't change what had happened. It didn't erase the betrayal, the humiliation, the years she'd wasted making herself smaller. She was done looking back. Her phone rang. It was Catherine, her lawyer. "Just wanted to let you know, the divorce is completely finalized. All paperwork processed. You're officially a free woman. Thank you, Catherine. For everything. Are you okay? I know these things can be hard even when you're the one who ended it." Simone looked around her beautiful apartment, thought about her thriving business, her new foundation, her reclaimed life. "I'm more than okay," she said. "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." And for the first time in 8 years, she meant it. 6 months after the divorce, Gregory stood in line at a coffee shop, counting the bills in his wallet. He had $23 until his next paycheck. After rent, utilities, and food, that's what was left. He'd found a new job 3 months ago. Junior marketing coordinator at a small firm. The pay was half what he'd made before, and the work was uninspiring, but it was something. He couldn't afford to be picky. The woman behind the counter called for his order, small black coffee, because that's what he could afford now, and he grabbed it, heading toward the door. That's when he saw her. Simone. She was sitting at a corner table with another woman, both of them dressed in business attire, laptops open, clearly in the middle of a meeting. Simone looked incredible. Her hair was styled differently, shorter and sleeker. She wore a charcoal suit that probably cost more than his monthly rent. She was smiling, confident, radiant. She looked like success personified. Gregory stood frozen, coffee in hand, staring. He knew he should leave before she saw him, but he couldn't move. Then Simone looked up. Their eyes met across the coffee shop. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Simone's expression shifted, not angry, not hurt. Just completely neutral. Like she was looking at a stranger. She turned back to her meeting without acknowledging him. That hurt worse than anger would have. Gregory walked out of the coffee shop feeling like he'd been punched in the stomach. The woman he'd been married to for 8 years had looked right through him like he didn't exist. Because to her he probably didn't anymore. He went to work and tried to focus, but all he could think about was that look. That complete indifference. He'd expected Simone to hate him. He'd expected anger, maybe even satisfaction at seeing him brought low. But indifference. That was worse. That meant she'd moved on so completely that he didn't even register as a blip on her radar anymore. That evening, he made the mistake of looking at social media. His mother had posted something about Simone. Apparently they'd stayed friends, which stung. His mother's post was sharing an article. Local tech investor launches $25 million foundation for women entrepreneurs. There was a photo of Simone at the launch event, surrounded by smiling women, all of them looking at her like she was a hero. Gregory read the article. The Rise Up Foundation was already making waves, having awarded its first round of grants to 30 women-owned businesses. Simone was quoted saying, "Too many talented women never get the chance to pursue their dreams because traditional funding sources overlook them. I want to change that." The comments were full of praise. What an inspiration. This woman is changing lives. We need more people like Simone Mitchell in the world. Gregory closed his browser and sat in the dark of his studio apartment. Studio apartment. That's where he lived now. 400 square feet, paper-thin walls, a view of a brick wall. This was his life. His phone rang. It was Brittany. He hadn't heard from her in months, not since she'd broken up with him via text. He almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of him. Hello? Gregory? It's Brittany. How are you? I'm fine. What do you want? I heard about your situation. About the divorce and everything. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how things ended between us. I was going through a lot and I handled it badly. Gregory almost laughed. You were going through a lot? You're the one who came between a marriage. I know. But I didn't realize you were married at first. You never wore a ring. You always acted like you were single. That was true. Gregory had taken his wedding ring off before his first date with Brittany. He told himself it was because the ring was too tight, uncomfortable. Really, he'd removed it because he'd wanted to feel single again, wanted to recapture that thrill of being available and desired. Why are you calling Brittany? I wanted to apologize. And also, I heard Simone is doing really well. Like really well. I didn't know she was that rich, Gregory. You never told me. I didn't know either. Oh. Brittany sounded disappointed. I thought maybe you could, talk to her. Put in a good word for me. I'm trying to start a business and I heard she has this foundation. Gregory hung up. He couldn't believe it. Brittany was calling to ask him to help her get money from Simone? The audacity was breathtaking. But also it was fitting. He'd lost everything over a woman who only wanted him when she thought he had money. Now she was trying to use him to get to his ex-wife's money. Karma was real and it had a sense of humor. Over the next few weeks, Gregory kept seeing reminders of Simone's success. She was featured in a business magazine. She gave a talk at the university. She was photographed at a charity gala wearing a stunning gown, looking every bit the powerful, successful woman she was. Meanwhile, Gregory's life continued its downward slide. His boss wasn't happy with his work, said he lacked enthusiasm, lacked drive. Gregory wanted to explain that it was hard to be enthusiastic about making social media posts for a plumbing company, but he kept quiet. He needed this job. One Friday evening, Derek invited him out for drinks. Gregory almost said no, he couldn't afford to go out, but Derek insisted on paying, so he agreed. They met at the same sports bar as before. Derek looked good, happy, settled. He'd just gotten engaged to his longtime girlfriend. Congratulations, Gregory said, trying to mean it. Thanks, man. We're excited. Small wedding, nothing fancy. Just family and close friends. Derek paused. You'll come, right? Of course. They ordered beers and wings and tried to make conversation, but Gregory's heart wasn't in it. You need to move on, Derek finally said. I have moved on. No, you haven't. You're still stuck in what you lost instead of focusing on what you can build. It's been 6 months, Gregory. At some point you have to let it go. How am I supposed to let it go when I see her face everywhere? She's in magazines, on websites, at charity events. She's everywhere I look, being successful and happy while I'm stuck in this nowhere life. That's not fair. She worked hard for her success. She built it herself long before she met you. You're acting like she stole something from you when really, she just stopped giving you access to what was always hers. I know that. Gregory snapped. Don't you think I know that? I lost everything because I was too stupid and too proud to see what I had. I get it. I messed up. But how am I supposed to move forward when I'm reminded every day of how much I lost? Derek was quiet for a moment. You didn't lose Simone's success. That was never yours. What you lost was the chance to be with a good woman who loved you. That's what you should mourn. Not the money, not the lifestyle. The person. Gregory felt his throat tighten. I do mourn her. I think about her every day. I wonder if she ever thinks about me. Honestly, probably not. And that's probably healthy for her. She's moved on, built a life that makes her happy. You should do the same. How? How do I move on when I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me? You start by forgiving yourself. Then you work on being someone who deserves a second chance at happiness. Not with Simone, that ship has sailed, but with someone else someday. You become someone who treats people better, who values what matters, who doesn't let ego destroy good things. Gregory knew Derek was right. But knowing it and doing it were two different things. As he rode the train home that night, Gregory thought about the man he'd become. Not the man he'd pretended to be when he was living off Simone's success, but the man he actually was underneath. He didn't like what he saw. But maybe someday he could change that. Maybe. Simone walked through the community center, admiring the newly painted walls. The Rise Up Foundation had partnered with several local organizations to offer free business workshops for aspiring entrepreneurs. Today was the first day of classes. "This looks perfect," she told Tasha, who'd been coordinating the project. "The women are going to love this space." "I hope so. We have 45 women registered for this session. Some of them are working 2 or 3 jobs but still making time to come here and learn. It's inspiring." Simone felt a rush of pride and purpose. This was what mattered. Not fancy houses or expensive cars or impressing people. This was real impact, real change, real meaning. The first class was starting at 2. Simone had planned to attend the opening session, say a few words of welcome, then head back to her office. She had meetings lined up all afternoon. But when the women started filing in, diverse ages, backgrounds, stories, Simone found herself wanting to stay. She watched them settle into chairs, notebooks out, faces eager and hopeful. These were women who believed in themselves enough to try, despite all the obstacles in their way. She remembered being one of them. Young, broke, ambitious, and terrified. No safety net, no connections, just a dream and a willingness to work until her hands bled to make it happen. "Miss Mitchell?" A voice interrupted her thoughts. She turned to see a man standing near the door. He was tall, with kind eyes and an easy smile. He wore jeans and a sweater, casual but neat. He didn't look like he belonged in a business workshop. "Yes? Can I help you?" "I'm Trevor Jackson. I teach English at the high school down the street. I volunteer here on weekends, and Tasha asked if I could help coordinate the workshop series. Just wanted to introduce myself." Simone shook his hand. His grip was firm but not aggressive. "Nice to meet you. You teach high school." 15 years now. Mostly sophomore and junior English. "But I also run an after-school program teaching kids about financial literacy and entrepreneurship." Tasha thought the connection might be useful. "That's great. We need more education like that in schools." "Agreed. Most kids graduate with no idea how to manage money or start a business. I'm trying to change that, one classroom at a time." They talked for a few more minutes before Tasha called everyone to order. Simone gave her welcome speech, encouraging the women to dream big and work hard, to support each other and never give up. She could see some of them had tears in their eyes. After the session, Trevor approached her again. "That was a powerful speech. You can tell you really believe in what you're doing." "I do. These women remind me of myself 20 years ago. I want to help them avoid some of the struggles I went through." "How'd you get started?" "If you don't mind me asking." They ended up talking for an hour. Simone told him about building her software company, about the long nights and failed prototypes and maxed out credit cards, about the thrill of her first sale, her first big client, her first $1 million. She found herself opening up in a way she hadn't with anyone in a long time. Trevor listened without interruption, asking thoughtful questions, genuinely interested. When she finished, he smiled. "That's incredible. You built all that from nothing?" "From determination and a lot of coffee. And now you're using your success to help others do the same. That's real wealth right there." Simone was struck by his words. Real wealth. Not money but impact. Purpose. Legacy. "What about you?" she asked. "Why teaching?" "I love books," he said simply. "I love language and stories and the way words can change how we see the world. I wanted to share that with kids who might not have anyone else showing them how powerful reading can be. The pay's not great and the bureaucracy is frustrating, but the work matters. That's enough for me." Simone found herself smiling. "That's beautiful." They exchanged numbers, purely for foundation business, Simone told herself, and she left feeling lighter somehow. Over the next few weeks, Simone and Trevor kept running into each other. At the community center. At foundation events. At a bookstore where they both happened to be browsing one Saturday afternoon. "Are you following me?" Simone teased when she saw him in the fiction section. "I was here first," Trevor countered with a grin. "Maybe you're following me." They got coffee after, just as friends, Simone reminded herself, and talked about books, about teaching, about social impact. Trevor recommended authors she'd never heard of. She told him about business books that had changed her life. It was easy, comfortable, fun. But Simone kept her guard up. She'd been burned badly. She wasn't ready to open her heart again, wasn't sure she ever would be. Trevor was nice, but nice wasn't enough. She needed to protect herself. Still, when Trevor invited her to attend a poetry reading his students were organizing, she said yes. And when he asked if she wanted to grab dinner after, just as friends, she said yes to that too. Trevor never asked about her money. Never seemed impressed by her success or intimidated by it. He treated her like a person, not a bank account or a status symbol. When she mentioned she'd sold a company for $50 million, he'd said, "That's cool. Did you enjoy the work? Not how much did you make? Not can you invest in my idea?" Just genuine curiosity about whether she'd been happy. Was refreshing. 3 months after they met, Trevor invited Simone to his apartment for dinner. He cooked, nothing fancy, just pasta and salad, and they ate on his balcony overlooking the park. "This is nice," Simone said. "Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for coming. I wasn't sure you would." "Why not?" Trevor hesitated. "Because you're you. Successful, brilliant, beautiful. And I'm just a high school teacher who lives in a one-bedroom apartment and drives a 10-year-old car. We're from different worlds." Simone looked at him seriously. "The man I was married to had access to my world. Nice house, fancy car, important job. And he still cheated on me and threw me away like I was nothing. Money and status don't make someone a good person, Trevor. Character does." "Fair point. You volunteer your time teaching kids about financial literacy. You spend your weekends helping at the community center. You care about words and stories and making the world better. That means more to me than any bank account." Trevor met her eyes. "I need to be honest with you about something." Simone's heart sank. Here it comes, she thought. The ask for money, the business proposition, the reason he'd really been spending time with her. "I like you," Trevor continued. "A lot. And I think you like me too. But I know you're coming out of a divorce and probably not ready for anything serious. So I just want you to know, I'm not going anywhere. Take all the time you need. I'm happy just being your friend if that's all you can give right now." Simone felt something crack open in her chest. Not in a painful way. In a healing way. "I like you too," she admitted. "But I'm scared. My marriage taught me that people aren't always who they seem to be. That trust is dangerous." "Then don't trust me yet. Let me earn it. No pressure, no expectations. Just two people spending time together and seeing where it goes." Simone reached across the table and took his hand. "Okay, I can do that." They talked until midnight. About their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. Trevor told her about growing up in a big family where everyone talked over each other and love was loud and messy. Simone told him about being an only child, about her mother working herself to exhaustion to give her opportunities, about feeling like she had to succeed to justify that sacrifice. When Trevor walked her to her car, he kissed her cheek gently. "Drive safe. No demands. No expectations. Just genuine care." As Simone drove home, she realized something. She'd been so focused on protecting her money, her business, her success. But the real treasure was protecting her heart while still being brave enough to open it again. Maybe, just maybe, she could do both. 1 year after leaving Gregory, Simone stood on stage at the Chicago Business Awards ceremony. She'd been named Entrepreneur of the Year for her work with Mitchell Investments and the Rise Up Foundation. The ballroom was full of Chicago's business elite. Everyone was dressed to impress, networking and celebrating success. Simone wore a royal blue gown that made her feel powerful and beautiful. Trevor sat at her table, looking handsome in his suit. He'd been nervous about attending. "I'm not really a fancy event kind of guy." But Simone had insisted. "You're my partner. I want you there. Partner." They'd made it official 3 months ago, taking things slow and careful, building trust brick by brick. Trevor had met her mother, who loved him immediately. Simone had met his huge, chaotic family, who'd welcomed her with open arms. They'd navigated the challenges of dating as a high-profile businesswoman and a regular guy, figuring out how to balance her public life with their private relationship. It worked because Trevor never tried to make himself bigger by making her smaller. He celebrated her success instead of feeling threatened by it. And Simone, in turn, admired his dedication to teaching and his commitment to making a difference in young people's lives. They were equals in the ways that mattered. When Simone's name was called for the award, Trevor squeezed her hand and whispered, "You got this." She walked to the stage, accepted the beautiful glass trophy, and looked out at the sea of faces. A year ago, she'd been at rock bottom. Heartbroken, betrayed, questioning everything. Now she was here, being celebrated for her achievements, surrounded by people who respected and valued her. "Thank you for this incredible honor," she began. "A year ago my life fell apart. I won't go into details, but I will say that I learned something important during that time. We teach people how to treat us. For too long, I'd been teaching people that I was willing to be small, to hide my success, To pretend I was less than I was to make others comfortable. The crowd was silent, listening. I'm done with that. I'm done apologizing for being successful. I'm done hiding my achievements. I'm done making myself smaller so others can feel bigger. And through the Rise Up Foundation, I'm working to make sure the next generation of women entrepreneurs never feel like they have to do that either. The applause was thunderous. Simone saw women in the crowd nodding, some wiping tears. She'd struck a nerve. She continued, "This award isn't just for me. It's for every woman who's been told she's too much, too ambitious, too successful, too loud, too bold. It's for every woman who's been underestimated, overlooked, or dismissed. We don't need permission to be great. We just need the courage to own it." As she walked off stage, trophy in hand, Simone felt something she hadn't felt in years. Complete peace. She was exactly where she was supposed to be, living exactly the life she was meant to live. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of congratulations and networking. Business leaders wanted to talk about partnerships. Women wanted to share their stories. Everyone wanted a moment with her. Through it all, Trevor stayed close but not possessive. Supportive but not overshadowing. When she needed a break, he'd gently guide her to a quiet corner. When she needed to network, he'd step back and let her work the room. He understood the balance. As they drove home that night, Simone's phone buzzed with an email notification. She almost ignored it, but the subject line caught her eye. Final notice. It was from Gregory's email address. Despite blocking his number, he'd found a way to reach out. "Should I read it?" she asked Trevor. "That's up to you. Will it help or hurt?" Simone thought about it. A year ago, any contact from Gregory would have sent her into a spiral of anger and hurt. Now, she was just curious. She opened the email. "Simone, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I have no right to contact you. But I saw the article about your award and I had to say something. I'm sorry. Not the performative sorry I've sent before, but real deep sorry. I'm sorry for cheating on you. I'm sorry for treating you like you were lucky to be with me when really, I was the lucky one. I'm sorry for being so blind and so proud that I couldn't see what I had until it was gone. You deserve all the success you're getting. You deserve all the happiness and recognition and respect. You always did. I was just too insecure to handle being with a woman who was more successful than me. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for another chance. I'm just saying I see you now, really see you, and I'm in awe of who you are. I hope you're happy. I hope you found someone who treats you the way you should have always been treated. And I'm sorry it took losing you for me to become someone who might eventually deserve happiness too. I won't contact you again. Gregory." Simone read it twice, then handed the phone to Trevor. "What do you think?" Trevor read it carefully. "I think he finally gets it. Too late, but he gets it. Should I respond? Do you want to?" Simone thought about it. A year ago, she would have wanted to send a scathing reply, to make him hurt the way he'd hurt her. But now, she didn't feel angry. She felt nothing. Not indifference exactly, but acceptance. That chapter was closed. No, she decided. I don't need to respond. He said what he needed to say, and that's fine. But I don't owe him anything. Not forgiveness, not acknowledgement, not closure. I've moved on. Trevor smiled. Good for you. They pulled up to Simone's building. Their building now. Trevor had moved in 2 months ago after a long conversation about expectations, boundaries, and independence. They'd signed a cohabitation agreement drafted by Catherine that protected both of them. Simone owned the penthouse, but Trevor paid his fair share of utilities and expenses. Everything was clear, honest, equal. Inside, Simone kicked off her heels and Trevor hung up their coats. I'm proud of you, Trevor said, pulling her into a hug. Not for the award, though, that's great. I'm proud of you for becoming someone who doesn't need anyone's permission to be great. I learned from the best, Simone said, kissing him. You never tried to dim my light. Why would I? Your light is what makes you beautiful. Later, as they got ready for bed, Simone looked around her bedroom, her space, her sanctuary. The walls held art she'd chosen. The closet held clothes she loved. The dresser held photos of her mother, her friends, her foundation events. This was her life, built by her hands, reflecting her values. And sharing it with Trevor didn't make it less hers. It just made it fuller. Before she turned off the lights, Simone opened her journal and wrote one final entry about this chapter of her life. A year ago, someone I loved told me to leave his house. He thought he was dismissing me, diminishing me, putting me in my place. He thought I would crumble. Instead, I remembered who I was. I moved my $450 million and reclaimed my power. I built a foundation. I helped other women rise. I found real love with someone who celebrates my strength instead of fearing it. That man did me the greatest favor of my life. He set me free. I'm not the woman who tried to make herself smaller anymore. I'm not the woman who hid her success or apologized for her ambition. I'm Simone Mitchell, self-made multimillionaire, tech investor, foundation founder, and most importantly, free. This is my house. This is my life. This is my empire. And nobody can ever take that away from me again. She closed the journal and turned off the light, smiling in the darkness.